In a world filled with negativity, there shines a beacon of hope. Welcome to Spanning the Need, your source for uplifting stories from the Mahoning Valley. We believe in inspiring the uninspired. Join us in spreading joy one story at a time. Submit your good news today. Spanning the Need, inspiring the uninspired.
Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Spanning the Need. I'm Anthony Spano, and I'm here with Dr. Farid Naffah, who is a philanthropist, a doctor. I can name about 5 or 6 different things. And we're here to talk about what he does in the community and how he inspires others to do good. Thank you for coming, Doctor.
No, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you coming and giving me a chance to tell my story.
Well, and it's an interesting story as we talk, and if you have the opportunity when we get there, we've toured the grounds. There's 130 acres of gorgeous 68 acres of gorgeous wilderness, and a project that we'll get to here in a little bit. And talk about what you do, your day job, because I think people know you from a couple different aspects.
Yes. Well, I'm a gastroenterologist. And I came to town and established myself in Warren 32 years ago, and I run a practice called the Avamar Gastroenterology, and I have my office in Howland, Avamar Gastroenterology and Center for Endoscopy, and I've been in that building now for 24 years. I built it. My intention was to do something positive for the community. In addition to practicing medicine. I saw a great need in providing prescription medication for the elderly.
Well, and that's one of the big things that you really love passionately.
Yes.
And for the record, I got one. I got for the record, this is my doctor. He did a hell of a job. Not really promoting him, but I am. But yeah, you're very gentle with patients, and I think you're one of that I heard multiple people say when they give suggestions, and you've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah, actually for 36 years. I've practiced gastroenterology for 36 years. My first 4 years were in Cleveland, at the Cleveland Clinic. I was a staff gastroenterologist, and then I discovered Warren, Ohio, sort of about accident, and I didn't think I would spend much time here. It was, for me, it was going to be a transition point, but I loved it here, and I decided to stay and establish myself here and make it my home. And I'm glad to say that the people of Warren, the people of Trumbull County, welcomed me with open arms, and I feel very much a part of the community, and I decided that with the work that I do, I can give back in ways that I know how to.
I always like to ask this question for doctors, and we have a couple of friends of mine that are doctors. I always like to know, how did you get into that specific practice or that specific specialty?
Well, that was not originally my intention when I decided to study medicine and started medical school. I had other interests at the time, but studying physiology and pathophysiology, I found gastroenterology to be not only a very wide field of study, encompassing the entire gastrointestinal tract, from the mouth to the anus, but also the liver and the pancreas. I found it to be fascinating from an intellectual standpoint. Mm-hmm. And also I discovered that the practice of gastroenterology entails the cognitive part, but also the procedural part, which is working with your hands and doing endoscopy. It's the procedural part breaks up the day and, causes you to be able to do more in one day than if you only did one thing. Working with your hands is a lot of fun, and it's challenging, and it's it requires dexterity and precision. And so I decided that was the field for me. I originally went to medical school with the thought of becoming a plastic surgeon, but
big change.
Yeah, I gave that up, and
it's one of those things, like, you always are interested in, like, I always talk to, like, my doctors, like yourself, how do you actually, it's like to sit down and actually have a conversation, and then how did you get involved in, and we look at that because what is the, and I'll ask this, what is the one advice, kind of opinion advice you would give people when it's your field? Like, how should someone, I'm looking for the correct word, but like advise them on their body in your practice, like hey, you should make sure you eat healthy. You should eat a lot. Like you gave me the thing that a lot of fiber.
Yes.
What kind of advice, just in general?
I'm well known for pushing fiber. A lot of roughage in your diet: fruit, vegetables, whole grains, legumes. The American diet, or I should say, the diet of the industrialized world, is very lacking in fiber. You know, we eat a lot of processed foods and refined foods and fast food and candy, and there's hardly any fiber in that. And so as a result, very few people in our society get the amount of fiber that the body needs. Fiber is not only good for the health of your digestive tract, but it's good for your joint health.
Right.
A high fiber diet decreases inflammation in the body, and in that respect, it's very good for you. So I'm well known for that, for pushing fiber, but I also emphasize the need to stay away from a lot of processed foods and fast foods and greasy foods and that are unhealthy for you, for your heart and your other organs.
Okay. Note to my wife, telling me not to eat greasy food anymore. She's right on. She follows your advice, Doc. And we look at that as you've been at this for 30 some years. 36 years, which is a long time. I mean, I was just probably 8 years old when you started, when you came to Warren. And Warren is Trumbull County is great to have you. And we look at that, like you talked a little bit earlier. You had your practice, and you were looking at doing something to give back to the community, and you started your own foundation. Talk a little bit about how you got started and how you founded it in the name of your foundation.
Well, I have to say that different people give in different ways. That is, there's a lot of very good people out there that contribute to society in various ways, and everyone has their own style. And I commend those people who have that in them. They're generous and they want to give back, and they realize that their success, if to be enjoyed at all, is to be enjoyed by giving generously to the people around them who are less fortunate. And my passion in life, outside of the practice of medicine and healthcare in general, my passion in life has always been in the arts. I have always been around the arts in some form or other. I studied music when I was a child and continued with music for many, many years. And I have an interest in everything that is beautiful, that constitutes the expression of aesthetic beauty. And I have done many projects by myself or with others, with recognized artists, and building things and doing art projects of various types. I was lucky enough shortly after I first came to town and I decided to make Warren my home. I was lucky enough to find and buy the property where I now live. That property had a house on it which was dilapidated, but I saw the potential in it, and I saw the beauty of the land, and I bought it, and I bought the property for a nominal price, because at the time it was not seen as desirable by other people who had looked at it. It had been vacant for 8 years, but I saw
You had a vision.
I saw its potential. In fact, I fell in love with it instantly when I saw it, and I couldn't wait to buy it. And I negotiated a good price. I didn't have much money back then, and luckily I acquired it. And then it's been since then a project that I saw what the potential of this piece of land was, and I started developing it little by little as my finances permitted, and eventually I was able to build a reception area. See, there's a lake on the property. You see the lake there, and I built a reception area around the lake, and I wanted to do big gatherings, big parties. Because one of my things in life is to bring people together, in a spirit of cooperation, in a spirit of friendship, and sharing beautiful things in life, sharing the friendship, and hopefully in so doing, contributing to our community, the community that has allowed us to do well and thrive. And that was my mission. And I married that with the need that I perceived in my practice to help elderly people acquire or get prescription medication, which oftentimes they cannot afford.
Yeah, prescription costs are really high nowadays.
Very high. And people who live on a fixed income and cannot buy those medications are in trouble because they don't have access to the treatments that we can offer, that our technology and our society can offer, but providing them with that possibility, I felt would be a good thing to pursue, and that's what I did. And being able to marry my love for the arts and for entertainment and bringing people together with the need to provide elderly people with prescription medication is what started this whole idea in my mind. And I came up with the idea of doing a big party every year and raising money for that purpose. And shortly after, in the first couple of years, I donated the money to existing foundations, but then it was suggested to me by friends and people who knew better than I did at the time that I should have my own foundation, since that was going to be my effort in years to come. And so that's exactly what I did, and I named it the Avamar Foundation, to take the name of my practice, my medical practice. And then one thing led to another, and then I had to come up with a name for the grounds here. And I gradually saw my place as evolving into a cultural center. A place where we would do beautiful things, but also cultural things and events. And I came up with the name Cadabaz. Cad because I'm on Cadwaldersong Road, and Baz because it's Bezetta Township. Yeah. Cad-o-Baz. And it so turns out that CAD, the first three letters, was a perfect acronym for culture, arts, and dining, which is exactly what I wanted it to be.
It's funny that you're like, oh, we got this, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it could stand for this too. Yeah. And we look at that as we toured the grounds earlier. Yes. It's a phenomenal place. I mean, it's beautiful once the summer comes and the flowers and Lake Oakfellow riversides, and you see behind us some of the construction, which we'll get to here in a little bit. And it just amazes me what you've kind of accomplished. You've been doing this, you said, for about 16 to 20 years, putting this all together, and it's coming to light. What does that feel like? You've been doing this for a long time. Yes. You still have a passion for it.
Oh, absolutely.
And how do you, when each phase is done, you've got a landing area over here right off the lake. You back here, you're seeing more construction, and you probably see behind us something we'll talk about here in a little bit that's covered. And you got more stuff going on. What does that feel like when you when you create this grounds where people are going to be able to come visit, have weddings, visit the cultural center in the future? Because I know you're looking at this as long term.
Yes, this is a long-term project. I have a master plan, and I'm fully intent on executing it and bringing it to the people of this community. And I'll tell you what, each step of the way has been a wonderful experience. There's nothing like building things and seeing,
You see that, Woods?
And
we're putting something there.
and building things and marrying the architecture with nature. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I can't even describe the feeling at each one of my parties, having 200-300 people here on one evening, and looking at all of them and every single one of them having fun. It's a wonderful feeling.
You have an event coming up in about a couple months, August 17th.
Yeah.
And you're expecting this to be a huge event. You normally have it 2 nights every year, or in the last over time. Now you're going to have one big night, and expecting. Talk about that event itself. Talk about what you're anticipating.
Okay, this is going to be a huge event at every level, and I have been planning this for over 6 years now, and it centers on a work of art, which is a sculpture. You see it in the background.
It's covered up.
It's all covered up because no one is supposed to see it until it's unveiled.
And it's been covered up for a while, so I have not even been able to see it.
And so we will unveil it on August 17th. And the party for that evening is going to be second to none. It's going to be the event of a lifetime, I hope, for most people anyway. I came up with this idea a little over 6 years ago. I wanted to have a sculpture on the island. As you can see here, the island in the middle of the lake on my property. It's a like I said, it's a beautiful piece of land. And I decided that the sculpture should represent kindness. And I came up with a design. It's a lady giving a flower, handing a rose, the symbol of love.
LadyKindness.
And we named it LadyKindness. So I came up with the idea, and I commissioned a sculptor, a friend of mine who had done work for me in the past, to do the model. And so he and a colleague actually built the model in clay. And then we contracted with a company based in Italy.
Ringing to my ears. Italy, as an Italian, I'm sorry.
Companies based in Italy, there's only 4 such companies that I'm aware of in the whole world that do robotic carving. Robotic carving of stone is a relatively new technology. It's only been around for 10, 12 years. And we felt that the Italians had perfected that technology. And so I contracted with the Italian company. There was a huge amount of risk involved in that because nobody knew at the time if they could pull it off. Because I wanted a sculpture that was very tall, very large, something that would fit on the island and look beautiful on the island. It ended up being 29.3 feet tall.
It's nearly 30 feet tall, which is, I think you were saying, the biggest sculpture in America, North America?
It is the tallest freestanding marble sculpture in America, possibly in the Western world. But I wanted, that was not necessarily my intention.
Right, it just happened. It just happened
to be.
Yeah.
I wanted something that proportionally would fit on the island and look beautiful and be visible from every part of the property. And that was what I was seeking to accomplish. So I contracted with the Italian company and told them that's what I wanted, and they had never done anything nearly this
They're
large.
looking at you probably like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, but they were anxious, they were eager to take on the task and do this project because, you know, to them that was a major challenge and would be a feather in their cap. Totally understandable. So we worked together. The project was challenging, and the early part was difficult, and there were a lot of uncertainties, many imponderables throughout the course of the 6 years. As it were, that spanned the years of the pandemic, which slowed things down. But nevertheless, you know, we were able to finish that. It finally got done and was shipped to the United States from Italy last November, and we brought it from the port of New York and then installed it, erected the sculpture here on the island. That was a major project in itself. The sculpture is in white Carrara marble. It's solid marble. It weighs nearly 80 tons.
Well, we talk about that, and there will be an unveiling that night of the party.
Yes.
We talk about that you're expecting nearly 1,000 people or more.
Hopefully more,
to this event. What will be going on with this event? Talk about some of the things that people can look forward to. I know we were talking about a 49-piece orchestra.
Yes.
Talk about what's going to go on during that event.
Well, here's the program. So hopefully we'll have a large audience. I'm expecting that, and I think we will. And because it's such a unique event. Initially, when people come, they will be able to enjoy some superb food. The catering is done by AVI, which, as you know, is one of the largest catering companies. They do superb work, and they have catered the last several parties here at my estate. The food will be second to none, and so people will be able to eat and enjoy the superb delicacies that we have. And then they will have wine. The wine is donated by L'Uvabella Winery, which is local. They have wonderful wines, a large variety, and they generously have donated the wine for the last several years for our annual party. And this year will be no exception.
Well, it's food and wine.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, and of course there will be soft drinks and beer as well, and a variety of other things. So after a while of a couple of hours of mingling and eating and drinking and listening to music, the music on the sound system. By the way, I have a fantastic sound system, but the music sounds so crisp.
It's like it'll probably be like you're in your own little theater, listening to, or at a concert.
Yes. So, and after that, then I will deliver some remarks about the foundation and also about the making of LadyKindness, and discuss how it was done and recognize the people who participated in the making of LadyKindness. A huge project. As I said, it took about 6 years to get this done. And after that, the the dedication will begin. So we will start with a solo piano piece. For those of you who know classical music, it's the third movement of Ravel's Le Tombeau de Couperin. It's a sublime piece, which will relax everyone because they're going to be excited.
Everyone's going to be excited about the Ravel.
It's a sublime.
They may still be excited after that.
I think that will relax everybody and put everybody at ease. And then to follow that will be the orchestral piece, and I have a 49-piece orchestra. We've assembled some of the best professional musicians between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Our conductor will be Lonnie Klein, who's world famous.
And lives in Northeast Ohio.
No, Lonnie Klein actually is from New Mexico.
Oh, there was one that lived. No, she traveled.
He traveled,
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
And our soloist, our pianist, is her name is Helida Denova. She's a Russian lady, happens to live in Cleveland.
That's the one I was talking about.
And she is also world renowned. And the piece that we're going to play during the unveiling is a very famous piece. It is Rachmaninoff's Rhapsody, the variations on a theme by Paganini. Right. It's a spectacular piece, which is very difficult to play, but we're going to pull it off, and hopefully we'll show the world what Warren, Ohio can do.
Well, and it's funny you say that, because that's not, you're expecting to build more buildings on this site.
Yes, but let me finish about that. So after the Rachmaninoff piece, which will, during that piece, there will be the unveiling of LadyKindness. Then the veil will come up, from the bottom very slowly, so that only the last several minutes of the piece, which lasts somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes, the entire sculpture will be unveiled, and it will be dark at the time, and the sculpture will be flooded with the projector lights, and it will be a magical moment, I'm certain. After that, and after the dedication ends, then the people will be able to disperse and go onto the island. They'll can walk onto the island on the bridge
next to
Kindness.
Right, next to the Kindness.
The bridge to Kindness, which we designed and built. And we'll open up the dessert bar and the coffee bar, the lavish coffees and desserts by 8.
You're already making me hungry with desserts.
I tell you. And at the time, then the orchestra will play pops, popular music, popular tunes that everyone knows, and we'll put everybody in a good mood, and they'll play for at least an hour and a half.
And just enjoy the night away
And people will be able to take pictures and do whatever they want. They'll be able to talk to the team that has made LadyKindness possible, and also the team that has put the party together.
Right.
And so we'll be able to discuss things with various members. Everybody will be here. It'll be a festive, joyous moment for everyone. And
it's one great night. I mean,
it'll be a magical night.
Yeah, you're really playing, and it sounds magical with just what you have planned. And we look at, like, if you were to see the place now, it's coming right out of spring. We're coming in, and we're still looking, and we expect that, from what you say, that it'll be a great night. It'll be gorgeous.
Yeah.
And we look at what you've done to the grounds.
Yes.
And as you pull in, you'll be able to pull in, you'll see construction on one side, construction on another. You kind of plan to go further than LadyKindness in buildings, and about the cultural center.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about kind of like, after we're done with this phase, what's next? That after your party, what are you going to look at next?
So, and this is to complete the vision. I'm planning to build a cultural center on the grounds here, and it'll be a large building where we can have it'll be like a museum and a place where you can have events such as lectures, concerts. We can invite people that are notorious in their field, and have people from the community benefit and enjoy benefit from the events and enjoy those events. It'll be also in part entertainment, concerts, and what have you.
And this is all for your foundation to really give back to the community.
That's correct. That's correct.
Community gave to you as a trusted doctor.
Yeah.
Now you're giving back as an individual and really trying to make a long-term commitment.
That's correct. And so this is destined to all be part of the foundation.
Wow. And you have a lot of acres and a lot of land to build on too, to expand.
168 acres, so that even after my passing, this can still grow with the people who hopefully will take over the foundation and continue to run it, and hopefully run it with its original intentions and its mission.
And people will be able to visit the property once we kind of
Yes.
get there,
Yes.
and really, I mean, trust me, right now, like for me, this is gorgeous. Weather's great. And
Yeah.
what is one thing that you really want people to remember once we kind of get to the party? And what do you want people to really remember?
I want them to remember the message. The message is kindness. The message is kindness, and the message is, our country, not only our country, the entire world is divided, and people are at odds with each other, and it's sad to see. We can have different opinions, and we can have different ideas about how our society should go, but one thing that we should never lose is to be kind to each other, to be civil with each other, to be generous to each other. That is the message, and that is why I wanted LadyKindness to be the one to deliver that message.
Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your day. It's been an honor to walk the grounds with you and really just enjoy your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
At the end of each interview, I like to ask some fun questions.
Yes, go ahead.
So I'm going to throw some questions at you. The answers can either be personal or professional. It doesn't matter. It's all your own personal. So, what's your best accomplishment in life? The ones which I make you think.
Well,
Professional.
I like to say that I don't know if it's my accomplishment, but it's the greatest gift that God has given me. It's the fact that so many people have confidence in me. I think that I thank God every day for that, and I tell the people who trust me, and I tell them, from the bottom of my heart, that I will never let them down.
Okay. What's your best experience?
I have so many. It's hard to choose, but probably the one that resonates with most people when I tell the story is when I first came to America 48 years ago. I was 20 years of age, and I didn't have a place to spend the night. And I came to take a test, actually a contest, to see if I could be in school, and luckily I was selected, and I went to college at Columbia University, and then I went on to further studies, medical school, and so on. But when I first came to America, I came by myself. I had very little money. I had no place to spend the first night, and back in those days, there was no internet, and there was no cell phone, and there was none of that.
Not back then.
And how I managed to make it is still a mystery to me. I think, it's divine intervention.
But it's that notion of where we come from,
Yes.
how we were raised,
Yes.
and how we were that we are who we are. Do we make mistakes in the past? We do, but we correct them and do
Yes.
better.
Yes.
Last question: if there was one person you would want to meet, past or present, who would it be and why?
You got me there. You got me there.
Okay, no problem.
It
It could be a handful of people.
yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. So
yeah.
we'll come back to that in another.
Yeah.
I want an answer by August.
Okay.
Can I get an answer by August?
You sure will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Doc, I appreciate you taking time. I appreciate you taking time to join us for a great conversation with Dr. Naffah. His event is August 17th, 2024. You can go. What website can they go and purchase tickets?
LadyKindness.com.
Okay, you can go there, purchase your tickets. You can actually see schematics
Yes.
of what's going on here and everything. And then you can also check out other good news stories at spanningtheneed.com. I'm Anthony Spano. I hope you've enjoyed our conversation. We hope to have more in the future. Have a great day.